Hey, this is Mike, Seder 42 Vinyl. Going to do another video. This one is going to be about my favorite reissues for hard rock albums in 2024. There was a lot of good reissues last year. I felt like the reissues that came out in 2024 kind of surpassed some of the new releases that I ended up buying. Not that, there wasn't any good new releases, but just I'm talking about the ones that I purchased for myself. But there were some really good reissues that came out in hard rock. I just kind of wanted to highlight 5 of them that I really enjoyed this year. And these are going to be actually kind of ranked. So in order, this one is 5. That is the White Lion Main Attraction. This album is really good. This is the 4th release from White Lion. And what's interesting about this album is that basically right after this album came out, they ended up breaking up right after this. But this album is epic. I think that if it had come out prior to 91, or Hair was, still going really good in 91, I think that this album would have been a big hit. There's some really great hits on here, great songs that are probably as good as stuff on Pride and Big Game. I think that Pride, Big Game, and this album, they're all great, but I think this album is just really good. And it's interesting because, at least for me, at the time that this album came out in 91, I was starting to move away from Hair, getting into thrash metal, death metal, even grunge, buying stuff like that. When the new White Lion album came out, I didn't even really know. I wasn't excited about it. I don't think that Headbangers Ball played much from this album either. But retrospectively, listening to this now, this thing would have been a fucking smash hit. It would have done really well. There's at least 3 or 4 great songs on here that would have been great singles. I really like Lights and Thunder. I think that's one of their best songs that they've ever written. It kind of reminds me of, in its epicness, of Lady of the Valley, like that song. It's just such an epic song. And they open the album with it, which I thought was really cool. Broken Heart is really good, and Love Don't Come Easy. I think both of those would have been great hit singles. There is some songs on here that are, I would say, maybe a little bit filler. The album is like 63 minutes, so there's a little bit of filler on here, I think, but overall I think the album is great. It's fantastic, and it was a surprise because this album didn't do well, of course, when it came out, because Hair was over, but I think that it would have been a huge hit if it had a chance. Anyway, it's one of my favorite reissues of 2024. It was a great reissue. Music on Vinyl did this. Looks like 1,500 copies. And in the gray. So if you have an opportunity to pick this up, I would definitely pick this up. It's a really great album. right, number 4 on the list of my favorite albums that came out this year as reissues is the Firehouse reissue. This is the self-titled. This album is really good. The hit singles on here are great. Love of a Lifetime was the huge single on here. This came out in 90. So hair metal was still doing pretty good in 90. And yeah, Love of a Lifetime was like a huge smash hit, which made this album sell like millions of copies. They say here that it went double platinum, which is quite a bit. And of course, they had the song on here, Don't Treat Me Bad. I used to have that on a CD single, and I would play it a lot. I never bought this album back in the day, but listening to it now, there's a lot of really good deep cuts on here, like a lot of heavy songs, just hard rock songs that are just really, really good. So I think this album is kind of underrated for its deep cuts because I think that they really have some really good songs on here. And one of my favorite songs was a single. Was the All She Wrote. I think that song has a great hook. It's my favorite song in the album. Don't Treat Me Bad is good too. Once in a Lifetime is good, overplayed, but still good. And there's just a lot of really good, heavy songs. The album opens with Rock on the Radio, which I think is a really, really good song. There's some really good stuff on here. I enjoyed this album this year. It was another one that kind of surprised me because of how good it was. All right, and the next one, number 3. This is a reissue from a sleaze metal band that is a newer band. This album actually came out in 2009. In the 2000s, Sweden has been just keeping hair metal alive with great albums, and Veins of Jen put out an excellent album. The Art of Telling Lies. This album is fantastic. It's a 5 out of 5, a 10 out of 10, 100%. This album is great. There isn't a bad track on here. I think this album is heavy. It could have come out right in the middle, like 88. These guys could have toured with LA Guns and Faster Pussycat and all that stuff and done really, really, really well if it was 1988. This album would have been a smash hit. There's so many great songs on here. The choruses and the hooks are amazing. I highly recommend this album. You can get it through the website rlsrecords.com. It's the guy who was in the band Tough. He has a website where he's repressed his own albums and a couple other albums on there, but he got the rights to repress this on vinyl, and it sounds great. And it's an excellent album. I can't recommend this album enough. And it's my third favorite hard rock reissue of 2024. Excellent album.
motion building up while you cave in. They'll be coming around before you know it. Some things will never change, it's always been the same. You can't really trust on your final day. Everybody loves you when you're dead, and everybody wants you in the end. It's coming in between your loving memory. Now everybody loves you when you're dead. Work moaning dead and suffocate obsession. Their infective corrosion eating away on your sanity. They'll be coming around before you know it. Some things will never change, it's always been the same. You can't really trust on your final day. Everybody loves you when you're dead, and everybody wants you in the end. It's coming in between your loving memory. Now everybody loves you. Everybody loves you when you're dead, and everybody wants you in the end. It's coming in between your loving memory. Now everybody loves you when you're dead. Come on and kill me.
This one is, I've talked about this album before. This is my second favorite, and I think that this is one of this band's best albums. I think it's second to their debut, and that's Cinderella, and this is Still Climbing. And I think this album would have been an excellent sequel to Night Songs, and then they could have went into the more bluesy stuff with Long Cold Winter. I think this album rocks. There's so many good songs on here that are just fantastic. My favorite song of the year, one that I streamed so many times because the hook is killer, is Talk Is Cheap. Oh my god, that song is just, it's an earworm. It gets in my head. It's funny because I was considering buying the bootleg of this album for a long time. Rolling Rex Records had it. They had like one copy left. I started streaming it and I was like, damn. And when Talk Is Cheap came on, I was like, holy shit, this song is amazing. I think this would have been a huge hit if they had put it out as a single. So excellent song, excellent album. The only drawback is the album cover. This album's album cover is awful. And this album came out in 94. This was really late for hair metal. Obviously, it was way over by now. But I think this album, it harkens right back to 87, 88. Like, I think this album could have came out right after Night Songs, I think. It has that sound. It's a bit heavier, like Night Songs was. There is that blues element in there, some of it, but I think I honestly think it's a little bit less than they do on Long Cold Winter. I think that this album is just a rocker, and it's really good, and it is my second favorite reissue of 2024. right, my number one reissue of 2024. This album is interesting. I love this band. I think that they get a little bit of a bad rap as far as why people don't like them, and it's the Pretty Reckless. Now, this is Taylor Momsen's band. When this album came out, I was already kind of a fan of Taylor Momsen. I actually watched the show Gossip Girl for a while, so I knew her from there, and I was like, oh, interesting. She has a band, great, an actor or actress doing music, how typical, how fun. So I was skeptical at first too, but then I heard the single, Make Me Wanna Die, and once I heard that, I was like, holy shit, that's a pretty heavy riff, and the chorus, man, that hook is just instant. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this album a shot. So I started streaming it. This was back when it came out, back in 2010. And as soon as Bad Medicine kicked in, like the first song on here, I was like, whoa, this is a unique song. I was like, this is really interesting what she does with her vocals. She has this like coughing that she does. But she also kind of has this little bit of gruffness to her voice in that song. I think it works so good. I thought it was really imaginative. It was unique. And I was like, that song hooked me as well. I was like, okay. And then just the rest of the album is just really good. So I was into this album back in the day, and it only came out on CD and streaming. And then, they started making more albums, and they kept going, obviously, till today, And I've liked all of their albums. I feel like they're all kind of unique. I think this one and Go to Hell are maybe a little bit similar, but when they did Who You Sellin' For, I feel like they kind of changed it up a bit. They went a bit more 70s hard rock on that album, and then the new album is really good as well, Death and Rock and Roll. I really love Taylor's voice. I think her voice is awesome. I like her attitude. I think she's just cool. So this album has an interesting history because, and this is my theory, and I'm pretty sure it's true, this album came out years ago, so maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, a bunch of these were pressed, and they were pressed on white vinyl. And some of them got released. Like, I don't know if they were sent out as promos or something like that, but something happened where none of them were actually released to the public. All of a sudden, last year, I get an email from the Fearless record label. I had signed up for the email list, and Fearless Records says, we're selling these. I'm like, holy shit. I immediately went on, bought one. I sent a link to a friend of mine, Rockley. He bought one. I was like, you got to get this album. It's really good. I was like really surprised. I was like, holy shit, they repressed it. I wonder what happened. So when I get this album and I start looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's white, which is the same color of the original press that had come out years ago. And then I also look, and the date at the bottom of the album here for the reissue is 2021. And I'm like, I wonder why that's not like 2024, So I was like, okay. And then I go to the listing and I start looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if either they, one of my theories was that they lost the box of all of the records that they pressed. Maybe they got misplaced or something like that, and they were like, oh shit, we can't find them, so we can't release them. Taylor's been asked about this album too, and she's like, I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why it wasn't released. And she's like, just, email the record label. But then also I'm wondering if there was some legal stuff going on to where they couldn't release it. So I don't know. I don't have a full story, and I don't know what it is, but I am almost positive, like I am 90% positive that these were the original presses of that original press from 2021 that just didn't get released. Either they were stuck in a box and they couldn't find it, or there was some reason why they couldn't reissue it or release those versions, and then all of a sudden they get permission to do it, so all of them got released. Now, there is no, as far as I know, there hasn't been announced a new repress of this album, so I don't know what's happening there, and these have shot up in price. Like the original ones, there was only, who knows, maybe like 50 or 100 were released because they were going for like $300 or whatever whenever I saw one. It's interesting because I went to a record store from a guy who does a local record show here in South Carolina, and he comes up to do record shows here in Charlotte sometimes. I went on a trip to Atlanta, I think, to go see a concert or something. we stopped at his store, his physical store, and I was going through his stuff. He had a sealed copy of this, and he was selling it for like $300 something, $350 or something. And I was like, holy shit. You know, I was super tempted because I was like, man, am I ever going to see this album again? And I'm super glad I waited, of course, because I got this for like, you know, 25, $30 or whatever it was, you know, plus shipping. But I also got really lucky because this album sold out really fast, and now these copies are going for $150 online probably. Hopefully they announce another repress, maybe a different color or whatever. Even black would be fine. But I can't recommend this album enough. I love the Pretty Reckless. I think they're a fantastic band. I like Taylor Momsen, and I'm really, really, really glad that I jumped on this as soon as I got that email. Excellent album. My number one reissue. This is a grail for me. I love this album. I think it's fantastic, and I like Taylor Momsen. I think she's awesome too. So
somebody mixed my medicine. Somebody mixed my medicine. Where you hurt, where you sleep, and you sleep where you lie. And now you're in deep, and now you're gonna cry. Got a woman to your left and a boy to your right. You start to sweat, so hold me tight. Somebody mixed my medicine. I don't know what I'm on. Somebody mixed my medicine. Now baby, it's all gone. Somebody mixed my medicine. And somebody's in my head again. And somebody mixed my medicine again, again. Well, I drink what you leak and I smoke what you sigh. You see across the room with a look in your eye. Got a man to his left and a girl to his right. I start to sweat, so hold me tight. Somebody mixed my medicine. I don't know what I'm on. Somebody mixed my medicine. Now baby, it's all gone. Somebody mixed my medicine. And somebody's in my head again. And somebody mixed my medicine again, again. There's a tiger in the room and a baby in the closet. Pouring out a drink, mom, I don't even want it. Then I turn around and think I see someone that looks like you. Why you hurt, why you sleep, why you sleep, where you lie. Now you're in deep and now you're gonna cry. Got a woman to your left and a boy to your right. You start to sweat, so hold me tight. Somebody mixed my medicine. I don't know what I'm on. Somebody mixed my medicine. Now baby, it's all gone. Somebody mixed my medicine. Somebody's in my head again. Somebody mixed my medicine again, again.
those are my 5 favorite hard rock, glam rock, whatever reissues from 2024. And thanks for watching.